Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice, cool fall morning, right? Welcome to another step in the demonstration, validation of Winston-Salem as the city of the arts and innovation. I'm Alan Joynes, the mayor of the city of Winston-Salem, and it's really a fun time to be mayor when we can do things like this. And I'm joined with a number of my colleagues that I'll introduce in just a moment. But of course, we're here today to celebrate the unveiling, which is already unveiled, but the dedication of this wonderful piece of art that's been actually put together in a joint project with the City of Winston-Salem's Arts Commission and Clay Grubb, who is the developer of this beautiful 224-unit apartment project right behind us. And so I want to thank you personally, Clay, for your investment in this project, and certainly the Arts Commission has worked hard to make it come about as well. The city has got a number of projects underway that will be happening over the next few months, and we'll be continuing to add to our arts infrastructure, which is a key part of that. To be the city of the arts, I think you got to walk the walk a little bit. And today we're certainly adding a nice piece right here, very prominent part on 4th Street, and we'll hear from the artist in just a moment as well. So let me move forward and ask Jeff McIntosh, who is the council member for the Northwest Ward, where we're standing, to make a couple comments. Jeff?
Thank you, Mayor. I think my ward ends right over there, doesn't it? So you're in the Northwest Ward, and I want to say thank you to all the people involved, not only in the construction of the building, but the artwork, the fact that it is locally designed, locally sourced, chosen by our Public Art Commission. I really value that, and I think the citizens of Winston-Salem really need to be proud of how we work that process, because it's not arbitrary. It's very well thought out and very well reviewed. I remember it was probably 5 years ago that the mayor, Mr. Grubb, and Councilmember Clark and I stood at the top of the Inigon building trying to figure out a way to make a deal work where this building could be built. Lots of moving parts, lots of hard things to figure out, but we did make it work, and the city contributed to it. And I'm very proud of the fact that we took a vacant surface parking lot and turned it into a home for probably 230, 240 people to be right here in the heart of buzz of downtown. So, thank you to everybody involved, and let's christen this ship.
Bring the champagne. So let me recognize members of the City Council that are here. Council Member Barbara Haynes-Burke right here from the Northeast Ward. Council Member John Larson from the South Ward. Council Member Annette Scipio from the East Ward. And Council Member Robert Clark from the West Ward. We're delighted to have all of our council members with us this morning as we, I think, show quite a bit of unity in supporting projects such as this. It's now my pleasure to introduce Clay Grubb, who is of course, the developer of this project, but developer of many other projects in our city. And Clay and the city put together a really interesting project on this one with 224 units. There'll be a number of these units that are affordable units as we move forward, and we greatly appreciate that because, as you know, we have a desperate need for affordable housing units in our community, and this will be one step in that regard. Clay is a multi-state developer and an expert in housing development. So Clay, we're just delighted that you're here doing this project, and thank you for your investment in sharing the cost of this project with the city of Winston-Salem. So Clay Grubb.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for everyone on the City Council for all you've done. I remember standing on top of the building, and it was a big one. And so obviously Don Flo also deserves a big thank you for his commitment to 500 West 5th. And it's exciting, and really in general, it's been exciting to be in Winston-Salem. And first of all, I do want to thank all the Grubb Properties team. So it's you are thanking the wrong person when you thank me. For those who are Grubb Properties, you'll raise your hand, and just want to thank you guys for being part of the team. And then Samet Construction, who has done a wonderful job here in their team. I think there's a few Samet folks out there. And so it's been a great partnership, and D.H. Griffin obviously played a role as well as many others. And I do want to, acknowledge Winston-Salem from a standpoint of building. This will put us at almost 800 apartments in downtown Winston-Salem, and that is about our highest concentration of any city. And we've been very excited about it. And I do want to just say, you know, my construction team, and I think the Samet guys can probably confirm this, that their favorite city to build in is Winston-Salem. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, basically they said this is the one place where they actually return phone calls and will try to work with you. And so that's been exciting to be able to deliver apartments that we can house a wide range of folks in. And so we will have folks below 60% of median income living here, and that's great, or at least down to 60% of median income. And we're working on a commitment to try to have a small set aside in all of our apartment communities for below 30% of median income, and that's one of our goals and aspirations that we're trying to get to. So thank you guys for working with us, and we hope to do more. And I'm real excited about meeting Mona and seeing the art here. It was kind of deja vu driving here. We have always tried to be committed to public art, and it's hard to do at times. And my mother drove a lot of that. I grew up in Lexington, North Carolina, for those that don't know. So Winston is kind of like my hometown. At least when I would travel, I'd have to tell people I was from Winston because they never heard of Lexington. Barbecue has helped change that a little bit, but I remember my first high-end project, townhomes. We actually had the opening on 9/11/2001, and so that was a very, very tough morning. And I was thinking about that driving here because that was our first real public art piece, and we did 2 large cement ovals that Thomas Sayer did them. For those who've been to the North Carolina Museum of Art, they're now main marketing sculptures that they have out there, Thomas Sayer pieces. At the time, he was still relatively young and new, and so they pulled up these 2 huge cement ovals out of the ground, out of the mud after he'd done them for 44 days, where he put rebar in the mud and filled cement in, and people were thinking we'd found them on the site. And there was a big editorial, and it said, you know, it was front page news and in every newspaper, and the big editorial was, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like and what I don't like, and this falls in the I don't like category. And so it was really interesting and controversial, but it's interesting, the same editorial a week later, he said, I've never gotten more letters, and I'm actually going to retract my previous editorial. He said, this is what art is about. It makes you think. And he goes, I want to share 2 of my favorite letters. And one was a young kid who said, I love them. They look like onion rings, and they make me hungry. And so then they got dubbed the onion rings. And as a spoof on New Year's Day, they superimposed a couple of ketchup packets and a couple of French fries on the corner and put that as the cover. And then the other was a father who wrote and said his kid rode by and was like, Dad, look, it's Abraham Lincoln Ham's ears. And so they wanted to know when we were going to put the head in there. But it's fun, and it's always fun to see what comes out of and so it's always fun to see what comes out of art and what makes people think and talk, and I think just the inspiration that went into this was fantastic, and I'm honored that we were able to play a role, and I appreciate it, and I'll turn it over to you, Mona.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a couple more? Oh, okay, sorry. Am I getting out of line?
That's okay. It's your sculpture. You can do whatever you want.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
And thank you for your comments about our staff. And Chris Murphy, who is the head of our inspections and planning department, is back there in the back, and Aaron King, assistant city manager. So we preach good customer service all the time, and so we're certainly always glad to hear good examples of that. Also want to recognize Chase Law, who is the president of the Greater Winston-Salem Arts Council, and Catherine Hall, who is the director of development there at the Arts Council, for their support of this. So, speaking of art, we have a wonderful, aggressive Winston-Salem Forsyth County Arts Commission, and Jane Dowd is the chairman of that. So, Jane, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, I'm so pleased to be here today. I've been on the commission for 6 years now, And this is one of the projects I actually sit on a subcommittee with. And it's exciting to see another large-scale piece being installed in downtown Winston-Salem. And on behalf of the Public Art Commission, I want to thank Clay Grubbs and Grubbs Property for their support and for funding half of the project. Laura White, who's here, Laura, thank you so much for sitting in on all the meetings and helping us make this decision. We're so pleased that we have a new partner with Grubbs Property in Winston-Salem to help us celebrate art in downtown, too. Thank you, Mona King, for her excellent design, for bringing together a strong team of artisans who created and saw this project through to fruition. The thing I loved about this piece was it encompasses so much of what all of us want for downtown Winston-Salem and for Forsyth County. This sculpture shows Winston-Salem's aspirations and its knack for reinvention. We are not standing on our laurels in downtown. I think you can see that we're moving forward. The words on the piece incorporated are inspirational and give insight to Winston-Salem and what it's about. And I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to introduce Mona King, who's our artist and designer. We thank you, Mona, for all the work you've put into the piece, and we're thrilled to dedicate it with you today. Thank you.
Good job, Jane.
Well, thank you to everyone for coming out, and of course to Grubb Properties, the City of Winston-Salem, the Public Arts Commission, and everyone that made this possible. But most of all, I want to thank my great team, which you'll see hiding back there. And the reason for this is we wanted to represent the talent in our community. We wanted to show that the arts are alive and there are creative people here that can make things happen. So I reached out to people who I didn't know, people I had worked with. We all share the same love for art, which is problem solving, and to create a piece that I'm hoping that everyone loves. The purpose of this piece, again, is to show the resilience not only of arts, but every aspect of the city and all of the components that made Winston the way that it is. I'm not a native. I've adopted this home for the last 31 years, but I feel that the arts have always been a part of my life, and I wanted to deep dive into it, so I took a chance. I applied for the Art Commission, and I was awarded, and then I also applied for the fabrication and to manage it, and was awarded. So the strong team, which consists of Metamorphosis, which is Gabe Bridges, Mark Lamb, Paul Spainhour, Drew Gerstmeyer, Mead Willis, who I don't think is here, was our structural engineer, which means it's not going anywhere and it's not going to fall. And there were countless people along the way that helped us, including Grubb Properties and Davidson Steel. This would not have happened. As you know, we went through a pandemic, so supply chain and cost issues became a challenge. But the strong team and support made this happen. And so you see this piece in front of you that represents all the challenges that a city has, as well as people in the arts and other industries, and how it represents you can accomplish anything. So resilience, Still I Rise, has many meanings to a lot of people. We've all gone through a lot of adversity, and we will continue to rise. We will continue to move forward. As a child, I was told by my father never to let anyone tell you what you can or can't do. I've lived by that motto my entire life. So I am proud that my daughters and my husband have to listen to me gripe at times. But we've survived, and their love got me through everything that we needed to get to this day. So with that, I applaud the effort of my team and all those people that kept moving this forward, and I thank you for the opportunity. So please enjoy.
Thank you, Mona. I tell you, I can't think of a better name for a project and one that exemplifies. For those of you who have been here for a while, you might remember probably around 2000, you could shoot a cannon down 4th Street after 5 o'clock and not hit anybody. Today, some 20 years later, there's been something over 2.1 billion, that's billion with a B, investment in our downtown area. And Jason Thiel, our president of Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership, is here, and he can kind of attest to that, all the things that are happening here. So, Mona, I think you've really captured the fact that we, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, we have risen with steel beams and things of that nature going forward. So, thank you for capturing that. Once again, let me thank Craig Grubbs and Grubbs Properties for your investment in our city, not only with apartments, but here with art as well. To our Public Arts Commission, thank you. And to our City Council, thank you for your support. And thank you all very much for coming. Have a great day.